You've probably heard people say, rent money is dead money. Also, you've probably seen many people on social media saying that now renting is the way to go. So, which one is it? Today, we are breaking down the pros and cons of renting versus owning a home in Australia, so you can decide what makes the most sense for you financially and personally. Welcome to Mindset and Growth HQ, let's get into it. Let's start with renting, the pros and cons. The positives: renting gives you flexibility, you can move anytime, change suburbs, or follow new job opportunities without worrying about selling. Low upfront costs, usually just a bond and your first rent payment. No maintenance or repairs, only mowing the lawn. And if something breaks, it's the landlord's problem, not yours. Renting can also make sense if property prices are too high or if you are saving for a different investment elsewhere. But of course, there are downsides. You are paying off someone else's mortgage. Rent tends to increase every year and you have little control over it. You don't build any equity. When your lease ends, you own nothing. There's no long-term security. The owner can sell or choose not to renew the lease. Renting gives you freedom and short-term comfort, but no long-term financial stability. Now, let's talk about owning your own home, the pros and cons. The positive: every mortgage payment builds equity, meaning you own more of your property every month. Property value in Australia have historically increased over time, building long-term wealth. As of now, government incentives are making home ownership more accessible than ever, and this is where it gets interesting. From October 2025, the government expanded what's now called the Australian Government 5% Deposit Scheme. Here's what's new. You can now buy a home with just 5% deposit and even 2% if you're a single parent or legal guardian. And there are no income caps, meaning it's open to more Australians. There are unlimited spots, so you don't have to wait for availability. And most importantly, you can avoid LMI, Lender's Mortgage Insurance, saving you potentially tens of thousands of dollars. Property price caps have also been lifted in many states to match the current market. This scheme alone has made owning a home far more achievable for many first-time buyers. Let's look at an example. Say you buy a $600,000 home with a 5% deposit, so it's about $30,000. You borrow $570,000 at around 4.7% interest. That's the average at the moment. That's about $2,900, $3,000 per month in mortgage repayments, plus counter rates and insurance. Compare that to renting. The same type of home for about $2,300, $2,500 per month you can expect to pay with rent. At a glance, renting looks cheaper, but remember, rent money builds no equity. Over 10 years, if your home value grows just by 3% per year, it could be worth around $806,000. That's roughly $200,000 in capital growth. On top of the equity that you've built through repayments, that's how ownership builds wealth. The downsides to watch out for: ownership isn't perfect. You'll face upfront costs, stamp duty, legal fees and inspections. Maintenance and repairs are your responsibility. Interest rates can increase your monthly repayments, and you lose a fair bit of flexibility. Selling property takes time and money. That's why it is important to plan carefully, budget realistically, and buy within your means. Final thoughts: renting gives you freedom. Owning gives you foundation. If you are constantly moving around for work or for personal reasons, then renting might be the way to go. However, if you're ready to stay in the one place for the next 5 to 10 years, and you can manage the upfront costs responsibly, then home ownership, especially with the 5% deposit scheme, is one of the smartest financial moves you can make in Australia today. Here is something to think about, and this is just my personal opinion. Just in regards to those gurus on social media that keep telling you mortgage is dead, rental is the way to go. Just keep in mind that the same people that are telling you to rent better than mortgage, these are the same people that are playing the game of Monopoly. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to the Mindset and Growth HQ, because next, I'll share how to prepare financially to buy your first home in Australia, covering saving strategies, budgeting tips, and how to take full advantage of the government grants. Your financial growth starts here. Thank you for watching.